Let's go! Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment. Hall of Fame College Football. What's up, folks? How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, I already got people. Hey, Kevin Myers joined. Thanks, man. Good deal. Didn't realize we were going to start seeing that Twitter joins on there. That's cool. T-Boomer, Stephen G, Steve B, Anthony Romero, and of course, Mike Wilkerson. Wipe your feet, everybody. Wipe your feet. Wipe your feet. Make sure to do that. We are less than 100 subs away from 3,000. Another milestone for the channel. Super excited about it, and glad to see everybody in here. Nathan Campbell, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Hall of Fame Mafia, let's go. Yeah. You go live mid B-ball game. Gotcha. No worries, Stephen G. All good. Look, we're probably not going to go super long tonight. Going to go ahead and talk about a few things, though. I want to get into a little bit with this Eddie Pierre-Louis. And then we will also talk a little bit about there was another offensive line deal. Guess we all kind of owe Bill Bedenbaugh a bit of a apology for questioning him. Big pickup for him, especially in light of what happened with the entire Cayden Green deal. Obviously you got to take a look at it and say that, they went in there and put his best foot forward. We know that BB can definitely develop however many stars there are. Now, I would agree that I think sometimes you want to see them grab, the real blue chip dudes that are, top in the class or whatever like that, which I think that's what Eddie Pierre-Louis is. So, or Louis, I guess is how you'd say it. But, I would say that it is what it is. You just have to expect that. Let him do his thing. He's going to get the guys that he needs to get. My guess is that Josh Aosa, he's a 3-star lineman coming in. He must have seen something in him to make him believe that he was the guy. So, look, you got to expect that he's going to get that done. When it comes to Cayden Green, we're hearing some crazy stuff. Obviously, the way that he went about things, and if it is all about money, then he's not about this program and about what he needs to be about. And I think that, you heard Mature say, that you should be about NFL money instead of whatever little money that you think you're going to make in college. It is what it is. But yeah. In any event, I think that it's one of the things where you take a look at this and you realize that this is probably the best thing. I know he was very talented. To be able to start 7 games as a true freshman is big. That being said, if, he didn't have his head in the right place, and if that means it was his family or whoever it may have been that like started pulling in a certain direction, you're a grown-ass man now. You can make your own choices. And so he did make that choice. And so he could have manned up. And, I agree with what Gabe Eichert said, talking about, that was pretty gutless, and I agree. You know what I mean? And you're a grown man, you go be a grown man. And that's just the way it's supposed to be. So anyway, it is what it is. EPL, man, talk about a stud freshman, right? Yeah, I was watching that video of him running, and Dude, that guy, yeah. I mean, there were little dudes that, probably playing the kind of guys that you see playing high school receiver and stuff like that that were fast, and he was running right with them in that sprint race. So it was pretty wild, man. The dark is afraid of the light, but of the like button. Do not be afraid of the like button. Please do that. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Steve B. Oh, your Twitter is toxic. Yeah, it's always toxic. Man, what's up with all that? That's the other part of it too. Hold on. Oh, my chair was a little jacked. Talk a little bit about that. A couple of things about OU Twitter and about Twitter in general. Because I mean, make no mistake, Oklahoma fans are not the only ones that are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because they're out there everywhere in every fan base. What I'll tell you is that you have to look at it in terms of some of these folks think that they're doing the right thing by, and that they're showing so much loyalty to the program, when they're really, with the crap that they say to some of these kids, you're going to go and attack. You don't even know for sure what's going on with Dillon Gabriel. And even if you do, and let's say that he did bring it up and try to get him to transfer. First off, it's not even against the rules. Number two, how many times have we said that we wanted Venables to go after some of the kids that were at Clemson? He made a decision to not do that. He promised that he wouldn't. And so he didn't, and that's fine. But how do you blame kids for talking to each other? And I mean, shoot, if you're a quarterback and he's a guy that can be strong on that offensive line at Oregon, you got to go play another year and want to maybe have a chance to win a Heisman Trophy and up your own draft stock. Why wouldn't you want him to go? He's a freshman. I mean, and we don't even know for sure if that's what he did. I mean, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But a lot of the things that have gone on, and I think, hey, look, I just looked at, I just saw something on Twitter. KJ Jefferson announced that he's entering the portal from Arkansas. And now he wrote a really nice letter loving on the fans and loving, but the thing that he said on Twitter, I'm out this bitch. So, I don't know exactly what's going on, but with that, but something's happening there. And maybe he doesn't like, I guess he didn't like Petrino or something. I got to get into that. But I tell you, there was a lot of reasons for Dillon Gabriel to be pissed, but at least in his letter, I mean, shoot, I'll pull it up here real quick. I mean, let's see what it says. He says, been a dream to be the captain of QB1 at Arkansas. Accomplishing those records and being mentioned amongst the great QBs in Razorback history was an honor. But the memories and friendships I made with coaches and teammates along the way is what I'll cherish. To the fans, I cannot express my gratitude enough for all the support I've received from this great state. I hope you've enjoyed watching me grow as a man and a player as much as I've enjoyed representing the state and university. You accepted me as one of your own, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Now, juxtapose that, what he said to those fans, with, you held me accountable and I'm better. That's what Dillon Gabriel had to say to Oklahoma fans. And look, I understand that it wasn't all of them. There's a large group, most of the folks that come into this place right here and come onto my show and my audience, y'all don't do it. There's a few that do, but most of them have kind of found their way off of this stream because I don't put up with it. Yeah. It ain't you. He is mad. He's mad. Okay, here's the other thing. Parker Thune and everything that happened with Art Briles and all that stuff, they have picked and picked and picked and picked and raised hell to the point that, which I've never understood this part of it. Look, the one thing about, I mean, I remember the very first game that Oklahoma lost last year against K-State, he goes out there and put up almost 500 yards of his own offense on his. He had like, what, 491, I think, or something like that. They lose, and he gets killed. He gets killed over it right from day one. First time they lost, he gets hurt in the TCU game. They lose that one, and then every time anything happened, I mean, the guy literally threw 12 interceptions total as a Sooner. You know how many touchdowns he threw? About 80. 70, 80, something like that, 70-something to 12 interceptions. Ran in another, he had 12 touchdowns on the ground this year and ran in at least like 6 of them or so last year. I mean, and yet he's getting beat up all the time. Yeah, Dan Lanning, hey, now that's different. I mean, you can be mad at coaches. It is what it is. Yeah. Look, and this is the point I'm trying to make, Stevie. Thank you. I think that I understand that a lot of people, he doesn't have the physical traits, and we said it before, he's not just out of this world at anything, but he's really good at everything. His arm wasn't big enough for him to, be late on passes to get him down the field. They were going to be a little short, Okay. Jackson obviously has a bigger arm than that, but his leadership traits were really strong. And when you needed a touchdown, he would go and get one. And yet here we are. But that's what I really do feel that way. Yeah. Well, there you go. So players that pull a Tebow isn't who we need to fight to keep. You're right. You're right. You're right. Ryan Broyles acting like prima donna and title football players. Oh, are you talking about on Twitter also? What the heck's going on with that? I hadn't really looked a ton into that, but I am going to here in a second. I was just going to take a look. Yeah, I wish our fan base would stop the BS on Twitter. We need all the talent we could get. That's the thing. I don't know what, here's it with the portal being the way it is. When a recruit says no to you and goes somewhere else, you should leave it. But there's a handful of people that will go on there and kill him. Theo Weiss, when he decided to transfer last year, there were guys that were literally on his post about that, when he said goodbye to Oklahoma, and he gave all the love that he could. He was a graduate, by the way. And there were guys in there that were going crazy and talking all kinds of shit about that he was a bum and all this other stuff. His mom ended up getting into it with a bunch of them. It was insane. Insane. I just couldn't understand. I just can't understand it. Let's see. Yeah, well, I mean, look, like I said, you can just the difference between that sentence and then the ones that, he had one sentence, DG had one sentence, and half of KJ's letter was to the fans, talking about how much he loved representing them. And the thing is I think that there were times, and you think that these kids, they'll tell you that they don't pay attention to social media. That's bullshit. They do. They do. Crazy. How are we feeling about Zona? Feel like you better get your butt ready to play. I feel like you better be ready to play because they are good. They got so good at the end of the year. Their losses, the first one was early on, and it was an overtime loss. They probably shouldn't have lost it. They shouldn't have lost to SC either, losing triple overtime. I thought that they probably should have went for 2 in that second overtime of the SC game. And then they lost to Washington, and that was close too. And DG was good. Hey, man, There's a reason he's number 4 all time in passing yards and stuff. He's passed up a lot of dudes in college. I mean, you don't get to that point. I don't care how long you've been in school. You don't get to that point if you don't ball out. You don't. He missed the better part of 2 games last year and still had over 3,000 yards. I hope that that's correct, Stevie. I hope that that's correct. Learning under him for a year. I think that was the other part of the reason that he was going to go to, was that he wanted Jackson to get his shot. But, you know, I think back to what did Coach Venables say about him in that whenever he was talking about him after the game, or maybe it was during the week leading up to, it was leading up to TCU, when he was talking about that he led from out front, you know, and he did. The dude did. He no excuses. He took blame whenever he didn't have to take blame. He did. I mean, that's what leaders do. And so, to me, I feel like, you know, that was something that we needed to. I think as a fan base, and I mean, I'm not saying it to anybody necessarily in here. I know better from you guys. You guys are awesome. But it is, you know, it's just one of those things where I think that that minority is so loud, that minority of idiots that are out there is so loud that it's deafening. And particularly in social media, that stuff will go a long ways. And people they gravitate to the hate more than they'll gravitate to love. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's Copenhagen. That's absolutely, dead on. Dead on. Yeah, that'd be nice, but they're good, man. They're good. And they got a freshman too. He's a stud. Jason, you've been a writer for years. Can I ask why the SEC decided to send Mizzou fans after OU to talk trash this offseason? I don't know that it was the SEC. I think that Mizzou just doesn't like Oklahoma, just like we don't like them. I think it's just as simple as it gets. And I'll tell you, there's one guy always on here on YouTube that every once in a while he'll pop up, and he's just bitching about Oklahoma and Texas. That we went to the SEC to get away from you guys, you know. And whiny, and talking about, man, I wish y'all weren't coming and all that stuff. Hey, look, you know why that is. It's pretty simple why they hate us. You know, they don't like Oklahoma because Oklahoma kicks their ass. Always has. You know, they have a few more wins than Okie Light did, but not by much. I think they got 27 wins all time or something like that. You know, played Okie Light a few more times. There's a podcast that has a lot of casual and delusional fans, nothing like the Nod. Yeah, look, man, which one are you talking about? There's a bunch of them out there. Why is that? Do tell. Yeah. DG was a Band-Aid, but okay, let me ask you, I mean, I don't know if that's part of that is saying, you know, that's messed up. I don't know. Yeah. Look, and I don't have a problem with him leaving, and I mean, he was going to get more money out of Oregon. And they don't have a guy, or I guess I don't know if Dante Moore ended up going there too, but I don't think that they have a guy that they can depend on moving forward. And you see what happens. It happened when Lincoln was here. Once you start leaning on those guys in the transfer portal at quarterback, then it's easy to do it. I mean, he's got a 5-star sitting right there at USC, and he went and got Will Howard. Or did he get Will Howard yet? I think he's going to. I mean, he's trying to right there do that right away. But this is how it works, man. You know, And I don't blame him. I don't blame DG though. I don't. Even if he said something to Green and was trying to pull him, I don't care. That's look. He doesn't owe anything else to Oklahoma. He did everything he was supposed to do for Oklahoma. And if he's trying to keep himself protected when he gets to Oregon, how could you blame him? You know? Yeah, DG left the right way. Yeah. And as far as Green goes, it's like I said, yeah, you're right, chicken. You know, in the end, he's a kid too, and I think it's a mistake on his part. I think it is. I don't know where he's going to end up. You know, Cody keeps telling me that he thinks he's going to end up at Okie Light. I don't think so, but I mean, you never know. But I can't imagine that they would pay him as much in NIL money as what he had already, you know, they'd already agreed to pay him at OU. But look, I'll say this one more time too, that the culture is what you have to do. The culture is what you do all the time. It's not what you do when it suits you and the narrative strikes. Either you do it all the time or you never do it, because either you're going to either get away with it or you're not. All right. Yeah. Hard to look at the positive. And look, I think that the one thing about it, here's my issue though. My concern is that if Jackson has some growing pains along the way in this first year of the SEC, which I mean, in comparison to, you'd like to see, if you know, it'd be cool if he had the easy away schedule that you're going to get with Texas, but he doesn't. But how long is it going to take the fans to turn on him and want Michael Hawkins to come in, or Zurbrich or whatever? You know what I mean? That's the worry I have about that. Who's about? Oh, Spangler, are you serious? You just said that? Come on, dude. Stop it. And if the Big Ten would have invited KU, they'd be there already. And one, yeah, that was the one time that KU. What was the last time you guys beat Oklahoma? Was in the freaking 90s. Shut up with that stuff, Spangler. Don't start. Here we go. In nothing. Yeah. Yeah, he can go. You can stop already, or you can. I'll take care of that. What's he saying? They didn't turn the Big Ten down. You're full of shit. Quit lying. Now you're just lying. Enjoy the hoop conference. You still didn't beat. And when's the last time you guys beat K-State? I think it's like 15, 16 years ago. You know why they're leaving. You know why. You know why. Money, exposure, having the opportunity to play for national championships. You're not king of anything, dude. Come on. Get out of here. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Take care of it. You're just gonna come in here and do that, we'll just kick you out. We don't need you. And I don't even hate on Kansas, you know. I don't like it that they beat Oklahoma this year, but you know, is what it is. Come in here running that mouth. Who does that? All right. Hopefully everybody's hit the like button. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, 26 likes. We got 50 people in here, so make sure that you have hit that like button if you come in. Make sure you wipe your feet. Let's see. Oh, somebody got him. Wilkerson got him. That a boy. can kick him all the way out next time if I need to. Oh, good grief. USCJ's on there talking right now about how Lincoln Riley's put together a first-class staff on defense at USC. Oh, I love it. I'm a fan of USCJ, but yeah. That's hilarious. Hey, shout out to Oklahoma basketball, by the way. 10-0. They've got some big wins too, you know. Arkansas has been really good and they smacked them, you know. Shout out to OU basketball. Way to go. Maybe they'll win something on the way out. And here's the thing, I'm super glad for that program because they struggled last year and it looked like they were going to get rid of Porter Moser real quick, you know. Thankfully they didn't have that knee-jerk reaction, and there they are. Yeah, North Carolina on Wednesday night. I can't wait for that game. Can't wait. Teresa Moser, hello. How are you? Welcome to the show. Yeah, he doesn't. Porter's been doing a great job, man. He's been doing a great job. Like it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but here's the thing. I think that when you play in a more competitive league, it's the same thing with the football program. You wanted to know why they're leaving because you, not even just the money. The money's part of it, but you're securing your future and you're going to be competing with the best, right? Oh, is this your friend you were telling me about there, Wilkerson? Good stuff. I was about to call her honey, so I'm glad that you said that. Yeah, that's funny, right? Yeah, so and I'll give credit to USCJ because he's kind of taking his shots and questioned it. You know, Prangley still won't do it. Prangley still won't do it, but he will. And I watched that one. What was it? Well, he was on with what's that other guy, that South Central dude or whatever. They had a few different guys on there. Plus, Jaywalk. I actually like Jaywalk. He played with in the Pete Carroll era. That dude was a stud. But he it was funny because okay. Yeah. Mike's honey. All right. That'll work. Let's see. 57, 30, 10 minutes to go. Man, they're blowing them out. Nice. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the question. Why have they not done that yet? Right? What's up with why haven't they gotten rid of that fool, Benny? That's freaking crazy. He went to Arizona State? Wow. Yeah. Well, they had to have, I think they stuck him way on the depth chart, way back on the depth chart. So he wasn't even dressing out towards the end of the year, right? What's up there? Oh, Bourbon. How's the youngin' there, Matt? How's everybody doing? Joe Long, what's up, buddy? Yeah. No, so I think that look, and just like I said before, I think that when it comes to Lincoln Riley, he doesn't really know what to do. But it to me, it sounded like what happened with, and I never really thought that they would get. I didn't think they were going to get a guy that was huge, big time. I think he might have got lucky with this defensive coordinator, but he's not really letting him replace everybody like he should. And that was the whole deal with Jim Leonard, is he wanted to bring his own staff and they wouldn't let him. Yeah. Not related to Porter. Well, mean, you could lie about it and say you were, and everybody because he's popular again. Last year he wasn't very popular. Yeah, that's I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Why would you be going after Will Howard and everybody? And like they said that he's in on the kid from Washington State. He's been looking. I mean, why? What's the point? You know. But I think when you're going into the Big Ten, I think that, and he knows it, they're in trouble. He just doesn't know what to do. That's the thing about him is that he's Mike Leach. And hey, man, nothing but love for the Pirate. When I got started in my career, I covered Tech and got to deal with Mike on a lot of occasions. Great guy, man. He's funny. But the truth is, he wasn't going to win anything any more than he ever did. He won the games that they were going to win, but they were never going to win a championship. He never won a Big 12. He never won a Pac-12. He wasn't going to ever win an SEC title. It's just the way it was. And once he left Oklahoma the way he did, he's not going to be able to call, Bob Stoops anymore for advice on what do you do to make to produce a full program, that's going to be complementary to each other. He doesn't have a clue. And we were talking about it last night, man. We were talking about it last night on the Discord stuff is, hey, the best thing that could have happened, as much as it pissed everybody off, the best thing that could have happened to OU was for him to leave. Everything happens for a reason, and that's for sure that happened for a reason. And it was for a reason for Oklahoma to have an opportunity. And speaking of that, did you guys see that video that came out about that? Steve B, let me see if I can find that real quick. I'm going to grab that real quick. I'm guessing that most of you guys have, but I want to do that anyway. Let me find it. Shout out to Bucky's. Let's see. Where's that damn thing? Okay. I know where it is. That was freaking crazy. Watch this. This is maybe. And I hate it when I have to look for stuff. Hold on just 1 second, folks. I'll have it. Dang it. And then, yeah, Stoney was a little pissy about all that stuff yesterday, wasn't he? Here we go. All right, let me jump back to here and share that. Tell me if
you fans are still salty, man. Salty. Because like the way the whole thing went down, it didn't feel real leading up to Oklahoma State. Like the whole vibe was like weird. We didn't feel that confidence like from the coaches. Like everything was just weird. Like my homeboy Marvin Jones, he was the Georgia. He was supposed to take an official to Oklahoma. He said they canceled. He like, all right, cool. We go play the game. We lost. In the locker room after the game, he says, I'm not going to LSU. I'm here with you guys. This is my team. This is my place. This is where I'm. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, he's not going to LSU. Like, 8 a.m., we got a text saying there's a team meeting at 2 p.m. They say he walked in crying. He talked for like a minute, walked out, and nobody ever talked to him What makes it like even more weird for us is if we win against Oklahoma State, he can't take the job because we go to the Big 12 championship. If we win, we arguably would have went to the playoffs. So USC would have moved on. People in the building are like, I felt like something was wrong. The plays he was calling, like, oh, we don't know if he was really trying to win, like, which I don't know. I don't know.
Tell me that's not crazy right there. This is the same stuff we've been talking about on this show all year about that. Well, even last year and stuff, that it was obvious he was throwing that game. And that's a player on the freaking football team that'll tell you that. Wild, man. Wild. Freaking crazy. Yeah. I mean, Howard is good. He's okay. And look, he may do well in that offense or whatever, but I don't know that. I don't know. The way that things went this year, Lincoln took a step back in what he was doing, because guys, y'all remember what he was doing at Oklahoma? They ran the hell out of the ball. He had one of the best running backs in the country, and the dude only got 10 carries a game. It was unbelievable. Any offensive guys? You talking about coming up? I think there might be a flip that you might be excited about, Matt. But I can't really say anything about it because the guy that told me, they'll know it was him if I say it. So can't really say it, but I think there could be one. You know me, man. I'm not huge on this recruiting stuff. I'm excited about EPL. I'm excited about the other the center that they got as well. Josh Aosa. Hey, good news about Jacob Lacey and DeJoun Terry coming back too, guys, right? We were talking about M. Nelson. Oh, yeah. Malachi Nelson. He's not mobile. Okay, I got you. Yep. Burks is a dude. That guy was a stud, man. Stud. Yeah, Howard can spin it a little bit is why I think he could do okay. But Dominic McKinley, the news on him is that he is going to be visiting Oklahoma in January. He locked that in according to what Sooner Scoop at On3 is saying, that he's going to be he's locked in a visit for January, so he will be coming. Obviously, he went ahead and decommitted, so there's a chance. I think that being closer to home might be a thing. I thought that to me, Dominic McKinley, they were out on him, or the family was out on LSU for sure. They did something to piss off his mom. And I know that she was pro OU because, I mean, everything you've heard is that she loved it, right? She loves the soul mission, all that stuff, but we'll see, man. Yeah. Well, Texas is going to have a good opportunity too, man. Even if you were to lose to Michigan, Oklahoma, and Georgia, you won't lose again. The worst you could do is 9-3. Worst they could do is 9-3. And I don't even. I mean, if you split Oklahoma and Georgia, you almost for sure in the freaking championship game. I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you who, and I don't even know that it's. I mean, I don't have any reason to not believe this guy because he's usually right, but I don't want to get him to where he doesn't have that source anymore because they'll know. Yeah. EPL's so badass, the dark scared of him. Yeah. Yeah, that's triggered a few people from Texas. It's true, though. I mean, look, and I'm not even this. I don't even care, really. it doesn't bother me. It's just weird that you look at Oklahoma's schedule, their road games are against all teams that you wouldn't be that surprised if they lost. Look, I mean, Mizzou was 10-2 this year. They're not going to get beat by Mizzou. But LSU, nobody wins at LSU. Auburn, nobody wins at Auburn. Hell, it's less than I thought. 80% of the time since they freaking opened that joint, they've won 80% of the time. That's huge. And then that's the one thing that Ole Miss never wins on the road, but they freaking win at home. They were undefeated. It's a tough road to get. And then you got Texas, Vandy, who didn't have an SEC win all of last year. A&M, of course you're going to beat A&M. I guess I could understand it's a rivalry game. You could lose it theoretically. I doubt it, though. Come on. And then who's their other one? Not even looking at it right now, but I'm just thinking there's another real. Oh, Arkansas. And I mean, KJ's gone, and Rocket Sanders, he's going to South Carolina. Yeah, but okay, yeah, who's saying that? That would be funny, but it'd be great if it was, but I don't know. Georgia's in trouble next year. They've got a quarterback. What was wrong with him? Carson Beck was great all year. Hey, there's our boy, the professor. New OU recruiting video about to drop, he says. You guys make sure that you get over, if you're not already a subscriber to High Top Sports Recruiting, you should be. Make sure that you get on there and do that. It's I'll put it in the channel description and all that stuff, but let me take a look real quick. They're bleeding 5 stars to the portal. They are starting to lose some guys. I didn't know it was a bunch of 5 stars though. I mean, they lost with the backup quarterback, and then he's going to Kentucky, and then they lost that linebacker yesterday. But he's the only one that's really played that I've seen. Hey, look, LSU does need a quarterback, but not really though. The guy that, I mean, he played quite a bit. He's been good, and they're expecting him to be good. But I wouldn't be surprised to see. I really would not be surprised to see our boy from Texas go to LSU. And if you're Brian Kelly and you're not all over freaking Malik Murphy, you're crazy. He's got to be. Georgia doesn't need an elite quarterback. No, they don't. What's up, Dalton? How you doing, man? Yeah, okay. Wow. I wonder what is going on then. I'm going to have to get old Coach I to come on and tell us all about it. Yeah. Although Georgia, for everybody saying whatever they saw about this, for their schedule being so bad this year, quote unquote, which it wasn't. They ended up playing a lot of the better teams in the SEC. And they still, I mean, they've lost one game in the last 30. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. But their schedule's a lot harder this year than it was. They get on the road at Bama, on the road at Texas. It's tough. Bama's schedule's pretty tough too, though. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Murphy's a bust. Oh, there's old Unk. Why are you guys hating on Malik? I tell you what, I don't agree with that at all. The dude came in, he did, and hadn't gotten any. I mean, they weren't freaking doing anything for that. They hadn't opened up the playbook for him. He won every game. If it wasn't for Malik Murphy, they're not in the playoff right now. No way. I don't know that. No, sir. I'm going to tell you right. Hey, our boy Nino said it. He was the most important person on that roster this year because if it wasn't for him, they don't get to the playoff. You're full of it, on. Yep. Arch may be the bust. Coach I drunk and sleeping it off tonight? You think so? Stop, Unc. You got to stop. I think Malik is the real deal. He's the real deal. I think he needs time, but you get him with somebody that knows how to coach a quarterback. Look, and I'll tell you this. Jayden Daniels did not throw the ball like he did this year as a junior at LSU. He worked on it to the point that he became the best passer in the country and still rushed for 1,000 yards. It's a good place to go have that problem to be LSU if it's me. No, and apparently I think he's they just said that he added South Carolina to his places to visit list. So we'll see what happens. I don't know that look, South Carolina's been busy in the freaking portal. Busy. I'm talking that trash. It was for K-State going, they wouldn't be in too. Yeah. If K-State would have just kicked a freaking extra point in regulation, they win too. But it wasn't. What do you mean he can't stay healthy? He hadn't even played. Quinn Ewers doesn't stay healthy. I don't think his arm was that great. It didn't look good to me in the spring game, man. What I've seen of him, it could work out I think it could work out for them at South Carolina. They're not going to expect him to go out there and freaking win every game right away. I mean, they don't win anyways. But they have been busy in the portal. They've been picking up a lot of really good players. Yeah, we have. Tattooed is something, right? I don't know anything about Malachi being a bust. I hadn't seen anything that made me think that he was terrible. I mean, there was a lot of people that had him as the number one guy coming out last year. We'll see. I think he's terrible. Yeah, I don't think Beamer's a great coach. Mm-mm. And I think that I understood what stat guy was saying the other night about that, but I believe that they should get rid of him. If they 5-7 again next year, I think you're wasting time with it. It's like Malik, Arch, and Nelson are bust, but we should build JA a statue right now. You're right. Copenhagen, that is a starable deal right there. Malik Murphy's been injured for 2 years. He was injured when he came in as a freshman, as a true freshman, but he was ready to go. He just wasn't. He got injured at the end of his high school career. He was ready to play. When did he get hurt this year? He didn't get hurt this year. He played. He freaking won games whenever Quinn got hurt. Quinn hasn't made it through a full season yet. Yeah, I agree. You're talking about Beamer there? Man, I think he probably gets fired, man, for sure. Then again, though, maybe not. I mean, if you're listening to what Stat Guy says, he was saying that, that, and I get what they're talking about. The expectations at South Carolina aren't what they are at Norman, or Texas for that matter. So if hey, it might be a good place to see if Malik can go ball out. Except that according to Stat Guy, they have a guy like Malik. They don't need him. So I don't know, man. I think it'd be a little crazy for Beamer to not see, Oh yeah, dude, he's and he's so weird, says dumb stuff. And what's up, Stephen G? Oof, 75-39 with 3 minutes. So they're beating the shit out of him. Oh, Jarrett. So, yep. Folks, make sure that you hit that like button. If you have not already, please wipe your feet when you come in. Also, real quick, just to look, if you're a coffee person, make sure you check out our sponsor, DevilDog's Brew and Beans, veteran-owned company serving veterans. Great premium coffee shipped directly to your door. In fact, when you make an order with DevilDogs, they roast, grind, and ship it all in the same day to ensure freshness right to your door. You can get 10% off your first purchase by using promo code Boomer, and if you use our partner link, you will always get free shipping thereafter. The greatest thing about it for me, I love it because it actually gives you 5% of every sale goes to the Wounded Warrior program, which I'm, being a veteran myself, I know it's so important. So please do get on there, check that. If you're a coffee lover, you check it out. It's unbelievable coffee. Again, veteran-owned company. They serve veterans. Really, really excited about having that with that partnership with them. You can become a member of the Hall of Fame Mafia, which is our channel membership for as low as $2.99 a month as well. Get into our Discord. We have a lot of really good discussions while we're in that Discord, so you guys should definitely jump in there and become a member. It could be as low as $2.99 a month membership. It's awesome stuff. Let's see. And obviously check out our merch site. Give me some ideas for, a matter of fact, I want the crew here to give me some ideas for t-shirts and stuff like that. Some of the, designs that we could come up with. I was definitely thinking of a couple earlier today, but I would love to see, we get a few more things in there that maybe somebody wants. The Louisiana Grills deal, same thing, partner membership. You get $100 off everything in their black label line just by using our link, hofmedia.us/Louisiana-grills. And then if you're looking for official licensed merchandise for your favorite team, whoever it is, jump onto our Fanatics partner link as well, hofmedia.us/Fanatics. And today it was up to 75% off everything in the store. Jump in there. I think you still have a couple of days left to get your stuff by Christmas. So jump on there and check that out. The best way, easiest, and free way to help the channel, just hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Share it with your friends. That's a big deal for us. We've got 2,913 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, become a subscriber. Very important to us, man. If you're watching us on Twitter or watching us on Facebook, jump over to the YouTube page, become a subscriber. I know we got a lot of folks that watch us on both of those other channels. We'd appreciate that. Like it. Okay. I'll star that so I can make sure I remember that. I had something in mind about Texas sucking. Hey, yes, I did. Hey, yeah, you never know what might come up on Discord, folks. So if you want to become a channel member, you should definitely do it. It's $3 a month. I laughed enough today that I would have paid a lot more than that just to have that conversation. That was funny stuff. Wilkerson, those guys are a trip. Kerwin, what's up, Kerwin? Also a channel member. Thank you for your channel membership there, Kerwin. My cousin was on the D2 National Championship team, Harding Bisons, Ronald Wallace. Congratulations. Congratulations. Very cool. That was freaking funny, man. You guys are crazy. Corey Brooks of Alabama, but Petaway has to hit the field next year. Yeah, I think that you're at the point now with receivers that I want to see if Petaway's ready to rock, and I think he should be ready to rock and roll. I think he was ready this year. Now, you keep on bringing in guys like Burks and stuff like that, and you're going to lose some of these guys before you ever even got an opportunity to see what they could do. I think Jaquez needed to play a little more. Very cool. Yeah, man, I'm glad all these hey, yeah, you're welcome. I don't think that, we don't need receivers, but I think I would rather see them offering scholarships and stuff to the trenches at this point, because there's a ton of guys in that receiver room, right? I think it's going to be big. Brooks to Louisville. Who? What? Yeah, O-line, defensive tackle, tight ends. Yeah, I could go with that. You know, something I was thinking about though on the tight end side of things is that, and really, if you think about it, watch. Let's go into team ranks here. Look at these players. I was, and I don't know that this is something that he wants to do. And maybe not. But to me, Yvonne Carrion, he's another 6'6" guy, and by the looks of it, I mean, is he going to play right away? Maybe not. But it feels like you could stack a few more pounds on him. He's already at 195, and put him in at tight end. You know. No. I agree. I'm not going to say anything bad, but I get it. Yeah, look, I mean, I didn't even feel like Nick Anderson was getting enough footballs last year, but I want to see Petaway do his thing. I wonder what happened with the kid that ended up not being eligible. What was his name? What happened? I haven't heard anything about him, because he was supposed to go to that JUCO in Kansas and then be here for this year, right? They just haven't gotten a ton of them, man. It's but here's where we are in that. They're doing great. They've found a few guys. I mean, the guys that they've got coming in on the D line now, they look really good. But Lincoln and them didn't do that, and then they gutted the team on the way out. So you got to rely a little bit on the portal. It's good that they've got DeJohn Terry coming back, as well as Jacob Lacey, who were portal guys this year. Those are big. That's big. But you got David Stone, who I believe is going to make an immediate impact. I believe Nigel Smith can make an immediate impact, and I'm almost positive that Jaden Jackson can. That dude is a monster. I think that they're going to be great there. You don't want to have to depend on true freshmen to do that, though, at this point. That's why you're having to kind of supplement with the portal a bit. That's the one thing I've liked, though, about Coach Venables is that, yeah, he's using the portal where you need to, but they're killing it in the recruiting in those spots. They are. As far as what happened with Green, I don't know. It is what it is. Well, Josh Faneuil. He didn't? Yeah. That sucks, man. That happens though, man. I've seen it happen a lot with college kids since, being a sports writer I remember there was a kid from here, I won't bring up his name because I've got some people from Hobbs that watch, but there was a kid here in Hobbs, New Mexico that went to amazing freaking school out of high school for basketball. Couldn't keep his stuff together there, and he went to a bunch of freaking JUCOs, and they kicked him out of all those. It was bad. And the guy should have been in the NBA. Just unbelievable. Yeah, it wasn't really development so much. No, that's what I was trying to say too. It was more on the D line, the guys just hadn't been there. You've been going with undersized dudes. It's the same problem that Lincoln was having this year at SC. The fact that they just don't recruit them well because they don't take care of their defense on that side, and plus they're small. So, yeah, they do. They do indeed. That's big, right? Hey, Terry coming back is big. Those 4-down stops started with yes, sir. I'm glad with that, man. I was glad to see that as well. Really, and Jacob Lacey too, man. I don't think that he was fully healthy this year, but when he was in, he looked good. And then same with, there a lot of those guys are coming back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to get time. You have to have time to bring them up. And when they're, freshman kids, and especially you got to figure going into the SEC, they're just better in the trenches there. That's where they're the best, is in the trenches, So we'll wait and see kind of what happens. But I like where they are overall. I think Pierre-Louis might be right away. I mean, he might be just the perfect guy to replace, Cayden Green. Over under on OU in the bowl. Let's check. Let us check. The over under is 64.5. The consensus is at 62. It depends on where you're looking at it, but in the 60s. 62.5, 64.5 on the over under would be the betting line. Over under on, is that what you were asking, Kim? Lacey and Terry getting a full season. Yeah, I think so too. I agree. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, what's up with Parker Thune, guys? What's up with Parker Thune? Did he tell me? You guys tell me. Is he the one that gave Jackson the JFA moniker? Because he was taking credit for it today. Yeah, they do. Come on. I know you guys know this. Come on. Wilkerson, is that what happened? Steve B? I'm going to tell you, I don't like that little, But, and taking, even if he was the one, I don't know why would you, that's what you're going to go that far to take credit for that. All the bickering and bitching they've been doing back and forth with each other over the Danny Stutzman stuff and everything else the last 2 weeks, and he wants to make sure that he lets everybody know that he gave Jackson Arnold the JFA, Jackson effing Arnold. It's hilarious. You're saying no, Steve B? You believe he was Stephen G? Okay. He's still a squirt for saying that. You think Jackson Arnold puts college football on notice? Okay. Dumb. Why? Why would you be mad? He's not going to play. He's not going to play. If he's got an opportunity to go play somewhere, why would that bother you? He acts like he is, Jeff. Why would you be mad, Sooner season? Are you one of the folks that we've been talking about that starts up a bunch of crap on Twitter? Bad if you are. Don't be that guy. What happened? Well, this one, Parker's saying that he's the one that gave Jackson Arnold. Everybody on Twitter always puts JFA for Jackson F and Arnold. And he says that he's the one that came up with that. I don't care if he is or he isn't. That's the stupidest thing in the world to get in there and take credit for. And that's how look at me, Parker Thune is. I can't stand that kid. Sorry, I can't stand him. And they should, yeah. No, that's not. Don't do that. That's not what you should do. That doesn't help at all. here's the thing. Everybody and people think that if you believe those players when they say that they don't pay attention to social media, you're full of yourself. And when you get on there and make an ass of yourself and talk bad about them, players see it. And not just the player you're talking shit about either. Other players that you want to get into the program are going to see that. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. They talk. Believe me, they all talk. Come on. Killing me. Yeah, because you know what? Hey, think about it. Trace Ford ends up at Oklahoma last year, and look at even guys like freaking man, the guy that I really don't like is that OK State Probs guy. And then you even had what's his name? The old basketball player talking shit on him. I mean, I saw people from Oklahoma State wishing him to get hurt, like blow his knee out kind of shit. Who does that? Unbelievable, man. Oh, whatever. He isn't that good. He's not even right most of the time. Gotta say I disagree. Gotta say I disagree. What's up, Lemon? Where you been? Mm-hmm. That's it. Correct. And that's the whole thing, is that every time that you do something like that, it really looks bad. And it looks bad on the whole thing. But who wants to come and deal with that here? And even if the guy that, and maybe some of them don't pay attention, but there are a lot that do. And it doesn't look good to anybody else. It doesn't look good to anybody else, man. No, you're fine. You're fine. That's not that bad a word. I've said worse. The last 5 minutes, I've said worse. Correct. Completely right, man. Completely right. You gotta, look. I was just talking about Theo Weiss. Look at those guys that got on there and did that shit to Theo Weiss. And I remember a lot of the guys Lincoln's last year here when they pulled Spencer out. And I'm not a big Spencer Rattler fan. You guys know that. But the stuff that was being said about him on Twitter, uncool. And there were guys that were actually on the team at that point that were like, man, you guys relax. How are y'all shitting on him like that? He's won a lot of games here. And he had won a big game against Florida in the Sugar Bowl that year. Or the Cotton Bowl, whatever it was. It's just not cool, man. Oh, I haven't seen that. I don't know. Blue Bloods what? Mm-hmm. Look, man. I don't know what else we're supposed to say. I wish that people would stop doing that. I really do. It's like I said earlier, do you think that there's a reason if DG did try to entice Green to leave and come to Oregon? Okay. I know the difference between his goodbye letter to Oklahoma and KJ Jefferson's to Arkansas. KJ Jefferson loved all over the fans in the state of Arkansas. DG didn't. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Because they got beat to death and they had a top 5 offense this year and a top 15 offense last year. And he got beat to death all the time. It's ridiculous. Notre Dame's yeah, they are. They are. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now look at what you just said there. Uncle. Hey, look, I've said things out loud since he's left. I didn't say it then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I didn't really think on that. No, look, I get it. I get it. I mean, but look, that was the booing at the game. That was not a great look. And then it got. I mean, everybody was talking about it on regular media too. You know, you even had Coach Stoops stepping in there and freaking taking up for him. It's just not a good look. I hate seeing it. I don't like seeing it, man. These are, and again, I understand that. Look, you have to be able to take a little bit of it, but when it gets personal and you start, you know, the death threats things, that those happen from time to time, and that's insanity. Yeah. Keaton, some of the old heads, yeah. Some of it isn't though. Some of it isn't. Yep. Yeah. This is a great point right here. Yeah, and I like this point as well. It sounds like the fans that always choose the side of the football team in the NFL. I agree 1,000,000%. That, like Chris Jones getting all kinds of. I saw Chris Jones getting beat to death by the Kansas City fan base because he wants what he's worth on his contract. He wanted what he was worth. Believe me, he is just as important as Patrick Mahomes is to that freaking football team. Without defense, you're not winning in the NFL either. It's just a fact. I think he was saying that. I think he was saying that he's old, is what he was saying. There's some of those guys that do it too, though. So it's not just the old folks. Hey, look, there's a freaking a group of people from all these age groups that do it. It's not any age. It's morons is what it is. That's what it is. Thinking that you're supposed to have some undying love for a football team that may or may not have treated you right. It doesn't always work out for everybody everywhere. To me, and I mean, we don't mind the guy. Do you care? Do you care what happened to Jacob Lacey at Notre Dame? Do you care? No. You're just glad to have him at Oklahoma. Right? You're just glad to have him at Oklahoma. You don't question why did he leave? It's crazy. What statement? Right. Guys, quit saying the word tampering. Even though it's just a freaking word. The NCAA doesn't do shit about it. There's nothing you can do. There's no such thing as tampering. None. Nothing's gonna happen. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it's just that. Listen, I'm going to tell you now. I know of 3 different guys that are young, around probably your age or a little older, that absolutely go way beyond that. When I was talking about the whole deal with Theo Weiss last year, his goodbye letter that they all send out. He was loving on Oklahoma fans, even though he took hell from Oklahoma fans a lot of times while he was here also. And there were dudes in there calling him a bum and worse, trashing him. Unbelievable. And these guys, I know a bunch of them were not older dudes. They weren't. look, it's not any one group of people. It's just the idiots. You could change that what you're saying and just say it's morons. Doesn't matter if you're old or young. If you do that, you're a dumb shit. The hell's the matter with you? And look, if it doesn't work out for certain players at Oklahoma, then it doesn't work out. I could care less about DJ Hicks at this point. Don't care. I know a lot of people want him, and I haven't seen him enter the portal even, but I don't care. The guys that are supposed to end up at Oklahoma will be at Oklahoma. And we know that these guys can and do recruit very well in those areas. So I'm not worried about that. $2 million is more than Purdy's making in the NFL. Possibly, you would see he was the last pick. But if he wins the MVP, or whether he does or not, ends up winning it or not, I think that he's going to get a new contract. He's going to have to. They did. Did you watch that deal, James? They gave him some money, but did you see their podcast that Stutzman did? The podcast on the Prairie this week. He was talking about he would have made more leaving. And yeah, there's the other thing too. Here's the other thing too. Also, some players get processed out, not their choice if they leave. That's absolute. You could get cut. They say, hey, you know what? We're not going to have a scholarship for you next year. I know you've been here. I know you got recruited here. Nope. Absolutely, they do. Well, it looks like I stirred up a hornet's nest in here. Hot damn. I love it. They don't know. There's Professor. Professor. What's up, bro?
What's up, bud?
Welcome to the show. We're right in the middle of talking some smack.
What were we talking about?
Oh, we were just talking about some of the assholes in the fan base that are going after kids on Twitter and.
Oh shit! Have you seen Florida? Oh my god!
Yeah, see, it happens everywhere, but it's a minority of people that do it though, that attack the actual kid.
Did you see the Georgia?
But they're just
post?
too loud. It's just too loud.
Did you see the Georgia post about Raiola?
No.
Okay, so if you're not on on Twitter, have you seen the message boards Twitter guy? He posts like funny stuff off of other fan bases message boards, like all fan bases.
Twitter board, yeah, or message board geniuses or something like that.
Yes, gold, right? So he put.
Except it's not.
He put one from Georgia. It said, "Listen, Raiola. They figured out what flight he would have to go on, and they said Raiola. Basically, if you work for Southwest Airline, can we do something to make the plane not go? Can somebody call in sick so he can't go to his visit to Nebraska?"
Wow.
It's
like,
so
why would
wild.
you want him? Why would you want him at that point? If he doesn't want to be there, why would you want him?
Yeah, they can transfer out anyway, so it's not like it's.
No, I mean, it's not like you're going to hold him to anything. And, now that one did kind of surprise me when he moved to freaking Georgia to play his last year, But, yeah, the Kelly Maxwell thing, hey, guys, look at the way they treated Trace Ford and Kelly. Unbelievable. And what did Oklahoma fans think about Okie Light fans for that?
Yes, Boomer. Bass. Never live it down.
So I told you.
I said it both ways. I did say it both ways, and I just ran with one. Listen, if you're gonna make a mistake, do it 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. And that's the point I'm making, is that it only takes those loud dumbasses to do that. It only takes that. That's what they see, and then the whole rest of the freaking fan base gets labeled that way. That's the point.
I don't care if it's like Middle Tennessee State. There's always. I mean, we had a fan. Look at the Bama fan that poisoned the Auburn trees.
We have O-line left, yes. Here we go with this guy.
What
haven't you guys lost some people to the
not really.
Pretty sure. Well, Bama will, though, after the playoff is over with.
Yeah.
It always happens.
What's your biggest surprise of the transfer portal so far?
I think the sheer number probably is pretty surprising. It just keeps going up. But how many quarterbacks had starting jobs and went into the portal anyway?
Yeah.
At major schools? I mean, I understood DJU and the guys at Oregon State and Washington State. I get that. Well,
Stephen G.
Are you going to start all this crap again, dude? Don't come in here.
You know who my biggest...
You're talking about loud dumbasses, and you're in here talking about that. That's hilarious.
I think my biggest surprise was the UCLA kid.
Dante Moore?
Yeah.
Chip pulled him twice. He put him in, and then when he needed him, and then he jerked him twice he was doing freshman things, having freshman mistakes. We'll see how he goes. Hold on, Wilkerson. Kind of freshman things, you know. Did I talk about the Cayden interview?
Cayden.
What interview? I didn't know he said anything. Who did he interview with? Cayden. Wait, who are we talking about? I don't know. What's up, Mars?
Let's see. What do I think about the OU recruiting class? You're gonna have to go to my channel and subscribe and
check it out.
No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna do that.
I've already said that to him though. But yeah.
I think it's the best defensive line class that I've seen.
Oh
so
yeah,
far.
yeah.
They're number one.
Oh, it was the Jayden Davis. Oh, have you seen the Jayden Davis Twitter video? Hold on a minute. Yeah, I think you need to look at this. This is funny stuff. Let me share it again.
You fans are still salty, man.
Salty. It was crazy because like the way the whole thing went down, it didn't feel real leading up to Oklahoma State. Like the whole vibe was like weird. We didn't feel that confidence like from the coaches. Like everything was just weird. Like my homeboy Marvin Jones, he was to Georgia. He was supposed to take an official to Oklahoma. He said they canceled. He like, all right, cool. We go to play the game. We lost. In the locker room after the game, he says, I'm not going to LSU. I'm here with you guys. This is my team. This is my place. This is where I'm. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, he's not going to LSU. Like, 8 a.m., we got a text saying there's a team meeting at 2 p.m. They say he walked in crying. He talked for like a minute, walked out, and nobody ever talked to him after. What makes it like even more weird for us is if we win against Oklahoma State, he can't take the job because we go to the Big 12 championship. If we win, we arguably would have went to the playoffs. So USC would have moved on. Like people in the building are like, I felt like something was wrong. The plays he was calling, like, oh, we don't know if he was really trying to win, like, which I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Bro. And see, that's something that I said from the next day on after that game in Bedlam. Jayden Davis.
Is he a wide receiver or something?
He played at Oklahoma at that time, and he even said that the way that he was calling plays, we were talking about that last night. That dude, look, man, I think at least 7 times in a row he called the same play that was getting Caleb chased around. At least. And I mean, every time he was running for his life. And it still didn't almost work. So they weren't in on it. I mean, you know, it's not like Oklahoma kids aren't going to throw it, but he was trying to throw it because he's right. He wouldn't have been able to take the job at SC unless he left them as they're headed into the conference championship game and the obviously a chance to get in the playoff. They would probably be, well, I'd say that, but he may have thrown the game against Baylor too. I think he was definitely, look, man, I'll say this, and you guys think about that, right? The Texas game, the Red River game, they're down 28-7. Before he pulled out Spencer, they were down 28-7. The year before that, they weren't. I mean, what was the difference in the game the year before? It was like a one touchdown game, but he had a turnover and he pulled him out to get him under control immediately. He waited till it was 28-7 this year, that year, 21. And of course, Caleb comes in and it's the greatest comeback in OU history. But he waited till that long thinking there's no way. So
yeah, I can't say if the guy would throw a game, but
we are glad he's gone, Hasker.
We saw this with Dan Mullen too. Like when he was getting the NFL job hype around him, that he was going to go take an NFL job, you could see that day that he was just not in it anymore. So it's not. I'm not going to say that Dan Mullen threw plays or Lincoln Riley threw games, but when you're not in it to win it, when you're not.
He definitely was mailing it in. There's no doubt about it. But I think that there's something to be said for what Jaden Davis said was that, hey, if you win that football game, and they were leading, but all of a sudden then they lose the lead, and Caleb but when Caleb would get going, he still almost scored anyway, but he didn't even try to like change the look of the play up that right down there towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean, they got down there and almost scored to win it. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been saying it since then. I felt like that was something he was trying to do, and the Texas game looked that way to me too. I think it just did. It just looked that way because, like I said, the year before he had pulled Spencer out quickly and got somebody in, right? Will the NCAA stop the portal? No, they won't.
I think they need to change the calendar around, though. Jesus.
The calendar would be nice, but they're not going to change it. Look, DCP, I'm going to ask you a question here. Why is it okay for coaches to leave? Why is it they don't have to honor their commitment? They don't have to honor their commitment. Him leaving was the best thing for OU. We talked about that last night too in the Discord. We were talking about that. Is hurtful as it was for the way he went about it, and they were recruiting for USC before they ever left and announced it. I mean, they were doing it. I've heard as early as like around Iowa State. That was hurtful, and it's hurtful when you, as the players, they were all stunned about it. That sucks, but the truth is, it's the best thing that could have happened to Oklahoma. They would not be close to ready to go into the SEC if it wasn't for Lincoln being gone and Brent Venables being here. Best thing that could have happened. Yes. There's another there. There you go. I don't agree with that though either. I think that in the end you have to look. You're not going to, first off, you're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube. And the NCAA don't mean nothing. They don't have any power as it is.
They lost it.
They've lost their power. They've lost their ability to freaking, you can't trust them. And when you've been exploiting these kids and players for decades and decades and decades, and now it's like Kerwin was saying earlier, I've never understood why people go against the players in the NFL that are holding out for their money, and I don't understand why you would go against the players at the college level either.
Nobody
who
does
are
that
trying
in
to
real
do
life.
what's best for them, huh?
They don't do that in real life.
Yeah. If it was you, you, wouldn't you care?
Yeah, I'd want my money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Big Eddie. Oh, geez, he's gonna be a guy. I think they put him at guard and let him just eat on those those sweeping guard plays when the guard pulls and comes around, bouncing the running back inside or outside the guard. I think that guy is going to be absolutely something else. Now, genetically, I'll break it down genetically. His brother plays in the NFL. His brother's Richard Garage, different last name, but he played at Florida for 5 years or 4 years. So for Florida not to even get that kid is kind of a head scratcher. But I don't think he really wanted to go to Florida. I think he wants his own legacy for sure. But that kid is something else, man. He's a good one. And you got a good online coach that produces NFL offensive linemen
year after year. Yes, here's the other thing about the portal. The portal is dangerous for these players. If I wanted them to fix the portal in any way, it would be that they need to make it so it's not so dangerous for them. But they have the ability to leave, and they can leave when look, coaches can leave, so can they. And you got to know that sometimes it's not a fit for you. And if you're not going to get to play, why wouldn't you want them to leave? You're not saying nothing about Tawi leaving, not saying nothing about Majors leaving. You know, what do I think about contracts for the money? I think that the NIL has nothing to do with the school. That is the official word. Guys, when these contracts, they do sign a contract, by the way, and it's for them to do extra work for a company, not for the school. I know that the school can guide them and they are in control, but not officially. They're not. Okay. So I want you to understand, this is just like professional football players. They sign endorsement deals with companies. That has jack crap to do with the team that they play for. The NIL, generally speaking, you've got a collective that's made up of boosters and all that, but it's not being done the way it's supposed to be. Here's the point I'm going to make to you right here. When they do that, it's going to be because, which could be coming real soon. If you guys haven't looked at that video I was talking about the other night, Andy Staples did something about, they were talking about all the stuff that Florida State fans are saying and stuff about, and you've got that attorney general subpoenaing like information and stuff from the committee and crap like that, when like it's going to matter, right? But what he was saying was that he went to a guy that knows about, he works for an NIL collective, and he was like, what could you do? What you would do is you get the bowls in Florida to pay the players. And if they do that, or you pass a law that says that, that they can pay the players and they do it, then it changes everywhere. And that is what the NCAA and every school, including Oklahoma, does not want, is revenue share, and for the school to actually have to pay the player like an employee. When that happens, that's whenever you'll have control. That's when that contract, quote unquote, will stick them into the school until a certain time. But at that point, it's really pro football. That's it. Right now, they're able to make money off their name, image, and likeness. It has nothing to do with the school.
Do you feel bad for the companies though? They're forking all over this money and there's no transfer clause?
No, I don't. Because they're companies that, if you're doing it the right way and not cheating,
they're mom and pop Lexus, Mercedes. I don't know what, like here it's like Andy Moore. Like Andy Moore's forking over the money, right? Or Range Rover, whoever.
Okay. Yeah. So there'll be another guy next year.
I know, but if you sign
a contract, it's probably a year at a time, and they write in their stuff for that. But here's the thing: the reason I don't feel bad is because while they're there, if they're giving you money, then you have to go and you're endorsing their product through social media. They do it because you're a quote unquote influencer. Now, just giving into the collective and they just pay a guy for this or that or this or that, in the end, it's not being done the right way.
So do you guys donate to your NIL?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so there's monthly. Okay, so it's a monthly subscription. So what are we even paying for?
Okay, so
Because I do too.
they do appearances, they do a lot of stuff for different parts. It just depends. It depends on who the collective goes in and gets brands to pitch in for the collective good of the team. The collectives are more for the guys that aren't quarterbacks or defensive tackles that are making the big money, right? Or offensive tackles, right?
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I've put that up twice now. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's back there. He definitely talked about it. But I mean, that's the question that Kerwin asked it earlier. Our guy Kerwin who was in here was like, why would you be upset or expect things and always go against the player instead of going against the schools and the NCAA that have made this mess?
How do you feel about tampering then?
I don't care about it. I don't think that there's anything that I don't think that there's any way to stop it. I think it's a waste of time. Nobody likes it.
It just is what it is.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
They've opened the can of worms and they can't get the worms back in the can is the problem.
Yeah, you're not putting toothpaste back in the tube, man. It's not happening.
It's kind of frustrating.
It is, but look, it happens all over the country to everyone. And in this day and age, when you have an opportunity to go make more money, how can you fault the kid for doing that? If you have an opportunity to go and you're not playing, Key Lawrence, for instance, he's going to Ole Miss next year. He had good games. But he saw the writing on the wall that he wasn't going to get to play here. Does that mean that there's no way in hell that that they may not need him next year if you have some injuries or something like that where he wouldn't be helpful to have around still? Sure. Mm-hmm. But it's the way it is. If you're not going to get to start and you don't have an opportunity, he's only got a year left, so he doesn't really have time to screw around with it if he wants to go to the NFL next year. Are they? That's cool. And no, how could you?
Listen, and just because you
what
get
does this mean, Cracker Mac? What does this mean? Oh, you need to get cutthroat? What does that mean?
You can't make the kids stay. There's no non-transfer clause. Trust me. I've already looked into it.
You can't do it. You can't do it, man. And that's the thing. You can't make it. It's the same thing. You don't make a coach stay. Bro, when he didn't argue the PI that puts us on the 1 yard. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Here's the thing with the transfer portal too is you can get in it, you can lose your spot, and you could stay in it and not have a team. It's not like there's a lot of wide receivers and stuff going in. They might be not having a school or having to go to a way lesser program like an Akron or Charlotte or something like that. Like the transfer portal is lining up on the craps table, man. You're rolling the dice because your top guys are going to get picked up, right? They're going to have 50 offers. But man, it's everybody thought it was what people don't realize is the transfer portal. Everybody's going crazy about how many people are in there. There's still people in there from 2 years ago in the transfer portal. That's right. Been sitting on the couch.
In fact, only 40% of the players, as of last year, there was only about 40% of players that were finding a new home. And if you think about it, I think that Malik Murphy may already have. He's making it look like he's going around and making visits, and maybe he is. But a lot of these guys, look, think about the kid from Duke, Riley Leonard. He goes into the portal and there's a no contact clause in there. He already knew where he was going.
Yeah, that's tampering.
Yeah, listen.
How you know?
But is it tampering though? Elko had left.
Yeah, but how you know where you're going to go already?
Well, That's it. Look, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, and that's what I'm. Thanks for coming in, John. We appreciate you coming in as well, man. I'm glad you're here. It is about levers. 60% of them don't make it out of the portal. That's absolutely correct. So it's
roll the dice.
Do you care about those kids?
No, nobody
I
cares.
mean, we care about the ones that we lose that we like. What about the ones that leave and go into the portal and never get out? Okay, how do you think? Yeah, but it's not because they don't have a ton of a big NIL collective there. There's some people with money at Ole Miss, but I mean,
Ole Miss is writing checks that they're not going to be able to cash. Is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're about
Torino,
to see a
Pride,
Florida
and
State.
Mizzou. Yeah,
You're about to see a Florida State 2.0 thing. That's why those kids are leaving.
I mean, I don't look, man. I think that if you're not going to get an opportunity to play there, and think about look, Nick Saban used to freaking. He hated it when they changed that transfer rule got changed within the SEC because he was not going to let you go anywhere in the SEC. He didn't give a shit if he played you or not.
Yeah. He
didn't give a shit. You may never get off the bench there, but he didn't want you going anywhere else in the SEC. Hey, man, it is what it is, and it's cutthroat for those kids too. It is cutthroat. Somebody else said we need to get cutthroat about NIL. It is cutthroat. Don't get it twisted. It is.
I think kids are realizing
this is the freaking real world we live in now.
I think they're realizing you don't have to go to Georgia or Bama to get drafted in the NFL. I think they're really realizing, like, oh, Sauce Gardner was the #1 corner taken out of Cincinnati a couple years ago in the draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go to a power program. Like, why wait? And I think it's gonna.
No,
I think it's gonna start chinking. I think it's gonna start Kirby Smart, Alabama, Nick Saban.
What do you look at? Hey, look at Georgia. They are leaking people. You guys were talking about it earlier. And think about this. There's parity that you hadn't seen. You remember? It wasn't that long ago that Clemson and Bama played for the national championship, 4 years in a row? And people were getting freaking tired of it?
Yep. You got what you wished for.
Now there's an opportunity.
I think it makes college football better.
I don't know. I think that there's some things that need to happen. But the bottom line is that I am on the side of players, period. End of story. I don't care where you go play. And I love the game. I love the Sooners as much as anybody in here. I promise you that.
Let me ask you this. We're gonna say you're a kid from Louisiana, right, Jason? You're a wide receiver from Louisiana. You decide to go to LSU because that's the prominent school in Louisiana, right? You're riding the pine.
It's a word.
Go ahead. You're riding the pine, right? It's your sophomore year. You still haven't seen any action on the field. Why not go into the transfer portal and go to Tulane?
Think about what Danny Stutzman said on that show the other night. He was like, there's guys that haven't gotten a freaking chance to play here, but just because they came to Oklahoma, they can get 6 figures somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean,
but Jason,
Barry Alexander got freaking all that money from USC. He barely played at Georgia. Yeah. I mean, you knew he was good. He had a couple of sacks in the national championship game. But the big reason he left, he wasn't a starter.
He should have stayed, though. He would have been starter.
No, he definitely should have stayed. That's again, I'm saying, though, because of the fact that he was at Georgia, he got big money to leave. He got huge money to leave.
Yeah.
You know, it's also about tampering. What does that even mean, man? You cannot change it. You cannot change it. The tampering is not. Look,
this is the equivalent
nothing in the NIL is going to tie these kids to the school until the schools step up and revenue share. When all these billions of dollars that they're getting for these new television contracts start trickling down to the players in revenue share, then they'll have control over them. Until then, they don't.
I don't mind if it's player on player, right? I don't And I think truly that's what it is. I think it's player to player on the tampering. I think what it is it's like if Jason called me and said, "Hey man, not really happy where I'm at. Could you see if there's a spot for me over at High Top Sports?" And I say, "Yeah, I'll talk to the boss man, see what we can do." Is that now he's still employed by that previous employer, by that previous school? Is that tampering? Yeah. Is the boss man calling him and saying, "Hey, I want you to come here and rip you out from your position that you're in now"? No, he's not. So it's like I get I don't like it. I get it, but it's just as long as it's player on player, it doesn't bother me. But if these kids are meeting in the back of a Waffle House in Mississippi, like Arch Manning did.
Well, I mean, how are you going to
with
stop a
Texas
kid from
A&M
calling
guy.
his friends that he knows? How are you going to
can't.
stop him from doing that? You just can't do it. You know what I mean? The whole thing with the first thing we talked about was Cayden Green. Everybody was saying that it was Williams Winery at Missouri, which it could be. Right? How are you going to tell him he can't talk to one of his best friends from high school? You can't. And how can you tell Dylan Gabriel that he's not allowed to talk to Cayden Green because he is leaving in the portal?
Networks on.
You just can't do it. The whole point is you just can't do it. You have to allow these kids to do what they're doing the same way that you allow coaches to freaking break contracts. And look, even when it's a contract, there's still going to be a way for these kids to get out of it.
They don't even stay at high school. They don't even stay at high schools anymore for 4 years.
Exactly, man.
I had to call you today.
I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea why. Yeah, don't get any idea. It's my company. What am I leaving it for?
No, that was just a metaphor.
No. Look, honestly, yeah. Look, yeah, I'm with you. Guys, the bottom line is this: there's nothing you can do about it, and I don't know why you would why you would be mad at a kid for bettering his situation whenever you may not have an opportunity to do it again. And when it starts looking like you're not going to get your chance somewhere, or you get in some coach's doghouse and you're not going to get to play because of that, then you're screwing up his opportunity to get to the NFL and make real money. But the truth is, some of these kids, 90% of them don't make the NFL anyway. If they have an opportunity to get somewhere and make a little cash and help themselves out by get to play a little bit, I don't know. I don't see the problem. And again, these kids have been excellent. Kerwin, you played college football. You know what I'm talking about. Same thing.
Sometimes you think it's going to be a good mesh, and it's just not.
Sometimes it's not. Right? Absolutely.
You have an OC or a DC come in, and you're not the style that they want.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, things change.
No, he was joking. Yeah, he knew. He was telling me it was a joke. I don't know that that's necessarily the case either, but we don't have to continue with that. Look, in the end, I know it got brought up, and I just wanted to say that one more time, guys. I am pro athlete. I'm pro the athletes. I don't care about. I'm going to tell you that the university is fine, and the team will live on without them. They will. The machine will run, and the machine will run. Also, when they do start doing revenue share, and they'll still be able to find a way out if they need to. Look, there's some of these. Don't forget too that some of these coaches kick these kids out too. Get out. Look at Coach Prime is a prime example of this. He got there, and what'd he say? Enter the portal. I got luggage on the way.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens, man.
Not every portal, not all portal entries are the same. Some kids are not. They're just told that we're going a different way.
Yeah, and this is changing. This is changing a lot too, Kim. That's the one thing, is that a lot of these collectives are taking care of All of them. The one that I have put money into, and last year the one that I was putting money into, it was for the other guys, not in that starters money range. The guys that aren't starting and probably not playing at all, they were getting them some money. Woody Washington was always talking about he would never do an NIL deal with anybody that wasn't going to give it to everybody.
I think, yeah.
Absolutely correct. Thank you, Jeff. That's the whole thing. You think those schools, they don't want to part with any of it, but they're going to have to. It's going to change. It's going to change. They're going to have to start paying, and they have been making all that money off the backs of these players for a long damn time.
What do you think as a whole they make as a profit in one season?
Hundreds of millions, man, for some of
Billions?
them. I mean, think about it. Look at the new television contracts. They're like $1 billion a year.
Yeah, it's like my buddy's he lives near Tuscaloosa. He's a Alabama police officer, and he goes, damn, every time they win a national championship, 3 more hospitals get built. Magically. All Alabama University hospitals get built. They're making loads of money.
Jimmy, they gave him freaking $2 million to go to Oregon. What do you think?
I think it's a good fit. Do you think that coaches are gonna stop taking high school quarterbacks, as many as they do, minus Lane Kiffin? He takes every single one known to man. But do you think they just go and get a proven guy for 2 years in the transfer portal? Do you think that starts to become a thing, especially if you got a decent team?
I think it's becoming more and more like that every day, every week, every year. Hey, hold on, guys. With inflation, that 85,000 was $1 million at that point, and that was, I don't even know that that's correct.
And you don't add in all the extras they get, right? The SUVs, the 2 SUVs,
houses
the free
and
house.
shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, because
Switzer still gets freaking money. He's still the king. Come on, man. Think about that for a second. He made more money than that. You know he did. I know he did. They got hey, think about that. Remember back in the day, they used to have their coaches show, and a lot of them still do, right? I mean, BV still does. You don't think that they get paid for that? They get money, man. No, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. Not in college, they won't. There's not a ton of NFL players that make more money than coaches these days either. John Gruden got a $100 million contract. They're paying him to not coach.
They're still paying him. And they just fired their last coach. They're paying him too.
Thank you. Exactly. Just a prime example. Chiefs were worth $2.1 billion in 2017, and now they're already over $4 billion. That's what winning does.
Winning
how many people were wearing Chiefs jerseys pre-Patrick Mahomes?
Nobody. Not outside the KC area.
What does that mean, Kim? That's not true either. He came to a new system, or he's going to be fine over there. Bo Nix went in there and did just fine immediately. He wasn't with those guys. Bo Nix went over there and killed it at Oregon. Yeah, he'd been at Auburn. He wasn't with those guys before. He did it right away.
He was bad at Auburn. That's why you don't start true freshman quarterback either.
Didn't Oregon get a commitment? Oh, a guy that you talking about, Dante Moore? I don't know if they ended up going. I don't know if he's there or not. I know he was looking, but
it's hard to keep up.
But Chip kept putting him on the bench all year. Because he wasn't ready. I think that he's more talented as far as athletic talent. It's the same thing as Jackson Arnold. You can be more athletically talented. That doesn't mean he's going to come in and be better immediately.
Same thing in Florida. Everybody's saying DJ Lagway.
Yeah, because they don't like Graham Mertz, and Mertz did great this year. It's hey man, you know what? Some of these things that my hope is that Oklahoma does well. I told you guys, my expectations are not for them to win the national championship in 2024, their first year in the SEC. It's not my expectation. I think 9-3 would be great. I'd be fine with 8-4 your first year in the SEC, especially the road games and who they got to play in them. It is what it is, man. I'm just telling you. If you expect that too much, too early, then that's the exact thing that causes people to act a fool when they lose.
And kill trees.
And kill trees. yeah. Like that dumb. Oh, man. See,
the Bama guy.
That's a prime example. These knuckleheads that do that stuff. Okay. Guys, I got to get out of here. I got to get my other job. Make sure you get over and check out Cody's show. Man, you guys are doing some amazing work. It's
got OU video just dropped.
Just dropped the OU video on the offensive recruits, talking about Michael Hawkins and talking a lot about Michael Hawkins and some of those guys.
Ivan the Great.
Yeah. Tell them about it. Tell them how to find you.
Yeah, over there at High Top Sports Recruiting. Go ahead, sub. We are so close to actually. Our goal was to have 1,000 subscribers. We started this 28 days ago, and it was 1,000 subscribers before National Signing Day next Wednesday. And thanks to everybody that has, OU has been a big part of that. A lot of views, and I want to thank you guys. But go ahead, check it out. Share with your friends, your Sooner friends, and we're so close, man. We're 70 away from hitting the goal. And,
let's help them get there, man. Let's help them get there. It's at High Top Sports Recruiting, right?
Yep, at High Top Sports Recruiting.
At High Top Sports Recruiting on YouTube.
Yeah, we cover everybody. We cover Dion. If you're a Dion fan, we cover a lot of SEC teams. We do everybody. So it's even if for sure. Even if you're not a fan of that team, it's good to see what you're going to be going up against in the SEC.
Hey man, there's a lot of these guys are following that stuff closer than me. I think it gets too crazy and it's a lot to try to keep up with. Some of it I do, some of it I don't. I figure when they get there, they're going to be good. And I know that they are. I'm so glad to see. I mean, that one video you did, talking about David Stone and Nigel and Jaden Jackson. I mean, that thing's killing it. He's got his finger on all of it. So you guys get over there and check it out. It's amazing content. Make sure that if you're not already a subscriber to our show, I hope that you would. We're less than 100 away from 3,000 subs. We're so happy to have that. Share us with your friends. The question that I did want to answer this question that Jimmy asked, not that one. It was,
I will tell you.
Should we get a quarterback from the portal? Look, I would understand it if they did because of the fact that you have a guy without a bunch of experience that's going to be your starter. If for nothing else, look, you got 2 freshmen behind him.
Yeah.
With no experience. So that's a tough thing to happen in the SEC. I'm not saying that I don't trust in either of those 2 guys that they're going to be good. I think Michael Hawkins is going to be unbelievable. But, and for that matter, I think the other guy's real good. Look, the fact is most of them aren't ready as freshmen. That's just it. And you're going into a conference that's the best in the country.
Can before we log off here, I'm gonna tell you my favorite OU player that I've found so far.
Go for it.
Cayden Jackson out of
Bad
IMG.
dude, man. Bad dude. Bad
Everybody's on the David Stoney on the Stone deal because he's a 5-star. I get it. Cayden Jackson, circle it. He's gonna be a big contributor as a true freshman. I'm telling you, on that inside nose guard, he's gonna put pressure right up in the quarterback's lap. He is gonna be a guy.
Did you watch the Xavier Robinson film?
Oh yeah, it's in there.
Dude.
That guy is something else,
bro. Yeah, I do know him very well. I know all these guys that they're targeting, guys. I just don't keep up with it the same way that some of these other guys do. I just don't, because I think it drives me. It's just crazy, right?
That kid out of Odessa.
Yeah,
Ivan the Great.
Ivan, bad dude, right?
Ivan's going to be probably a tight end, and he is going to be. I bet he probably has.
Look what I just say that earlier, folks. See?
I bet he has 20 touchdowns in the red zone.
Yeah,
that's what I would do with him.
There you go. He's not their only 6'6" guy they got, but I agree. I'm with it. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We appreciate that. Favorite offensive player so far? We'll let you answer that, and then we're out of here.
My favorite? Zion.
Xavier?
Reagans.
Oh, Zion Reagans. Yeah. He's baller, yeah. Guys, go over there and check it out. Make sure you share us with everybody else. I'll see you guys on the next one.
See you later.
Oh, yeah, horns down, by the way.